So that is the day, the people that are sent into your life to cause destruction, and the job is the way that they cause destruction in your life, is the way that they try to hinder you or set you back or whatever the case may be, okay? Hi you guys, welcome back to this channel. I am Darian, and today I have a message of wisdom. You can even call this a prophetic warning. So this is one of those videos, if it's for you, it's for you, okay? If this is not for you, if you don't even believe in it, then you can just go to the next video, okay? You don't have to comment that. But I actually feel that this is something that is a very serious topic, that if you are on your spiritual journey, on your spiritual walk, this is something you need to be aware of. If you are in a time of elevation or have already elevated and you have started to experience what we like to call spiritual warfare, maybe you don't know exactly what is happening in your life, but you know some things are taking place in the physical realm. But I'm here to give insight on spiritually what could be happening in your situation, okay? So a lot of times God gives me prophetic dreams, and he will speak to me through these dreams to relay messages to me, and I am able to get the understanding. I'm a person that I just love decoding things. I love finding the meaning behind things, and just, you know, like I'm a very like inquisitive person. Like I want to find out what this means, what this means. I want to go search for this and that. So that's kind of like, I feel like, our love language, okay? But anyway, let's get down to the message. This video is for those who have been in an elevation journey, maybe about to embark on an elevation journey. You may not even know fully what that means, but maybe you can come back to this video if you feel led to sit and watch it and be like, oh, okay, I saw this back then and she warned me about this back then, and now I am experiencing this in this season. It's one of those kind of videos, okay? But if you are on an elevation journey, a lot of the things people don't talk about is the things that starts to happen when you're on that journey, when you're in purpose, when you are really in the will of God and doing what you're supposed to be doing. And to be honest, to actually be in that space of elevation and in your purpose and doing what you're supposed to be doing, like what you're put here to do, and even in the will of God, that's when you actually start to experience a lot of spiritual warfare. So if people are questioning you like, this doesn't happen and this isn't happening, you should be questioning if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, okay? If they're like coming for you, oh, this would never happen, or this is outrageous, yeah, you should be questioning what they're doing, okay? But the main topic of this video, the main point of this video, is to understand that they want to finish the job. Who is they and what is the job? So they is the people that have been sent to take you off course from what you are meant to do, to take you off course from the blessed life that you are meant to have. They're sent to try to stop you from getting there. They're sent to try to keep you from your purpose. They're even sent to try to keep you from being in the will of God, the relationship that you have with God. This life is so spiritual, and I didn't start to realize that until I started getting closer to God and allow him to show me the real world, allow him to show me what really is going on. It's deeper than the everyday life that you see. It's deeper than the things that you experience, like just going to work, going to school, coming home, cooking dinner, you know, and being married, having kids, and all these things. Life is so much deeper than those things. So they are the people that are sent to pull you off course. One thing I have learned from life is that every person that comes in your life is either going to be sent for good, to help you to get to the next level, to be a positive influence in your life. And that could just be, they're just sent to be a friend, sent to help you in the season that you're in, sent to help you to get a new job, go to the next place. Something personally that I notice God does with me is when it's time for me to move physically to new locations, he'll always send a person, whether it's to buy a property or to look for something new, or, you know, he'll send a person for me. So that is a destiny helper. That is somebody that's sent for good. And then on the other hand, there are people that will be sent for the opposite, okay? They're sent to bring destruction to your life. They're sent to bring you down. I feel like this is pretty common. A lot of people starting out in a relationship or something, it may look good. At first, you're meeting a new person and it goes good, and then a year goes by, 2 years goes by, and destruction has been brought to that person's life because they allowed the wrong person in. So their life went from prosperous to destruction, okay? So that's an example. Or somebody coming into your life and saying, hey, you need to do this. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. Maybe they're trying to pressure you to have a certain lifestyle that you don't want for yourself. Maybe they're saying, oh, you need to be doing this so you can have this, and having all these whatever fancy things, whatever. That can be somebody sent to cause destruction. Nothing wrong with having fancy things, nothing wrong with having nice things, but you have to be able to understand the intentions of why a person is coming in your life, causing pressure, causing shame, and all these things. There is a motive to why this is happening, and you have to be able to see it outside of the natural perspective. Don't wait until your life has reached a place of destruction before acting on these very things. When I look back at some of the seasons of my life where I felt like I suffered destruction in my life, the signs were clearly there that things were off, that I should have not had certain people in my life, and I should have move forward, or like things had shifted. So you have to always be mindful of the shifts in life and when it is time to cut something off. So that is the day. The people that are sent into your life to cause destruction, and the job is the way that they cause destruction in your life, is the way that they try to hinder you or set you back, or whatever the case may be, okay? So let's get into this dream. I'm going to share parts of the dream that God gave me, and this should help, if this video is for you, to give you even greater understanding of how things work in the physical, but is really a spiritual root to it that needs to be addressed and dealt with. So in this dream, there was a person, and this person was seeing somebody from their past in a form of witchcraft. So it's not always just, going to somebody to have certain, all that stuff put on somebody, okay? We know that that stuff will not prosper against us, okay? But it is not always that. It could just be somebody gossiping to change the way that people see you, your reputation. It could be somebody trying to control you, control the aspects of your life because they don't want you to progress and get to another space. That goes into so many different forms and ways that it could be enacted against a person. So in this dream, this person was seeing somebody from their past. This person was walking around in their neighborhood. So whenever I see like a neighborhood, I always think of community. This person is close to their community, close to where this person is dwelling or staying. So in the dream, the person ended up on the phone with someone from their past. Now this person that they are talking to does not have good intentions for the person that the dream is about. So this person does not have good intentions. And the main perpetrator of all of the darkness that is trying to be sent out against the person is not actually the one that is speaking directly to the person on the phone. So it's kind of like they sent out a minion that they know from their group that's trying to come against the one person to have this conversation on the phone, to try to facilitate a continued connection with this person. So the person that the dream was about, they knew that these people were not supposed to be in their life. They don't want these people in their life, but somehow the people in that moment were in the person's space, in the person's life. So the person it was almost as if it was before there was a break in communication between the person and the people, because when they were on the phone it felt like old times. It felt like normal conversations. Things didn't feel different, but I could feel in the dream the conscience of the person, and it was like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, I don't want to talk to these people. I don't want anything to do with these people. So while on the phone with the people, it was like the phone was on speaker, and again, they were talking to one of the people from this group, but it wasn't the main perpetrator. It was just somebody that would be able to disarm the trust of the person that the dream was about. So the person is talking to that person, and the people are, because they're hearing the conversation on speaker between the two, so they are taking what the person that the dream is about, like how they're saying, just having like normal conversation. It wasn't nothing like over the top or nothing crazy. It was just like normal conversation that a person would have with somebody that they know are used to talking to. So while they would say what they have to say, the person would act like they like the person and that they're having this good conversation, joyful conversation back. And then I was able to hear like the snickers behind the phone of the person that was talking to the person that the dream is about. And like their group over there, they were like snickering and mocking the person on the phone and just being nasty. So immediately I started to think like, oh, they think that the person that they haven't talked to is still in the same place as before. So in these people's mind, they still feel like the person that has evolved and moved on and elevated is still in that same mindset and can still be controlled and under their witchcraft and manipulation and under their whatever they feel like it is. They still feel like that person is in the same place. And so it started to click. Hi guys, so I actually wanted to add this information in to this video before moving forward, because I believe that these points are really important and helpful along with everything else that I'm gonna say. So I wanted to point out, because I don't know if it really came off in me trying to describe and explain the dream, the person that was, we're gonna say, was the villain that was on the phone with the person that the dream is a warning to, was actually the person that they saw walking in the neighborhood. So the person that the dream is a warning to was in their bedroom, and they could see through their windows that the villain person that was going to be used as the point of contact between the true villain was actually just walking like the neighborhood dog. So this is a distraction. This is like a way for the person that the dream is warning to let their guard down. Oh, they're just living their everyday normal life, so this doesn't look so bad. Also remember that this person was in their community, like in the person's neighborhood, walking the dog. So what that represents is that the villain person that is being used could actually just be in your everyday life vicinity. So this could be at work, this could be in your actual neighborhood that you may run into this person, maybe at the grocery store or something. That's what the community part is representing, that this is a person that is going to be coming back but putting themselves in a space that you can easily run into them. So again, they were walking the dog, so that is an easy distraction. If they just look like they're just doing an everyday normal activity, or they're just minding their business and doing something, that is an easy way for you to let your guard in and let them back into your life. Open the doors of communication. So I wanted to make sure that that point was in there for you guys, so you can have a better understanding of how these things could work out and how the access could be given to the enemy, or the person that is being used by the enemy, the villain, the true villain in the story. Sometimes it can be easy to be put off track, because obviously if you have fallen out with a person or gone through a betrayal, you're not going to put your guard down as quickly or let them back in. But if somebody else that is connected to the person is used to open that door, then it's easier for you to put down your guard and open the door for that person to have access to you, even if it's in an indirect way. Okay, y'all, so let's hop back into the video. Because a lot of times when you do elevate and go up and go higher, people don't see you as the new version of yourself. The people that were in close proximity to you and had the closer relationships with you prior to elevating and going to that next level, and this could be family, this could be friends that were from the past, this could be even people you went to school with that you don't even communicate with. Once you have close proximity with certain people and they start to feel like you're surpassing them or you've gone to a different level, a lot of times they aren't able to process that you have evolved and move forward, because most people have like a competitive mindset. So it's like, how did we start at the same level and they're here now? They can't really conceptualize that this is that. And this reminds me of how Jesus says that a prophet has no honor in his hometown, not because the mantle or the gift or the calling that is on the person's life. And think of it, your life, whatever you have on you that is great, that God has placed in you or on you, even if it's as simple as having a business that is booming, or think about it from your life perspective. The people that once saw you from a lower place, maybe they saw you as little you, okay? They wasn't expecting you to do anything great. They still remembered little old you, especially if once you have evolved, which this usually happens during a season of elevation. Once you evolve, you are not able to connect with the people from your past again, because you are learning new things, you are growing, you are going to the next space and phase of your life. They may be still stuck at the little old me phase of life. They haven't yet crossed over to that next place. But back to the words of a prophet gets no honor in their hometown. This is why some of you have to move to reach the fullness of the success that you are destined to reach, okay? The people that you grew up with, the people that knew you from that low place, they, again, have this picture of you being this certain person. They have seen your flaws. They have seen certain aspects of you that you may not have anymore. So they're still counting on you still being this person. So your support is going to be coming from people that don't even know you, or your support will come from people that have met you in a different phase of your life once you have elevated and grown into the new person that you are. Okay, so I want to hop into this point. And this comes back from the dream that I was able to pick up. So the people from your past are counting on you still being naive. They're counting on you still being that old person that walked away from them, or however it may be, betrayal, whatever it may be, the reason that there was a breakup in communication. They are still counting on you still being in that same place. And if you are, then they believe that they can come in and finish the job, okay? If you are still in that place when they were once able to get over on you or do certain things to you and pull the wool over your eyes, they were once able to have a certain place in your life, they're counting on that, because if that is the case, you'll let them back in and then they can finish the job. So when I say finish the job, again, that means the destruction that the enemy wants to cause in your life. People are used to do good or evil. So if somebody has an open door in their life, meaning it could be wounds in their heart that allow certain spirits to use them and operate in them against other people, they will be used. This is the spiritual warfare part. It's not that this person just betrayed you because they just woke up one day and wanted to betray you. They probably are battling some spirits that have tempted them to do certain things. One thing I noticed from my own personal life is that A lot of the times where you have suffered betrayal, a lot of the times where you have suffered sabotage in your life, it is because you are meant to be greatly blessed in that area. So this is why the enemy comes to attack you in that place. And if you have your guard down, you're able to be attacked in that area multiple times because you're not really able to see the spiritual things working behind the scenes, causing natural reactions. So let's say you always get a good job and some kind of way somebody comes in and wreaks havoc, and you always get fired, or something just always happens. You may be destined to be a millionaire or even a billionaire. So the enemy knows this. The enemy knows that you are destined to be a wealth carrier in this world. So he is sending people to sabotage you in the very area that you are meant to be wealthy in. So now you're discouraged. Now you're feeling like, oh, now you're not able to keep a job, or it's not working out for you as financially, and people just keep coming and sabotaging the good opportunities that you have, not even realizing that, yes, if the betrayals didn't have to happen, that would have been great. But those betrayals can actually be used to lead you to your divine path. So literally, you have to look at things in life that have happened. It's literally working for your good. It saved you from something that could have actually been greater destruction. The destruction that came to your life saved you from an even greater destruction that could have happened in a different way. Now, once you get the revelation, once you start to see a pattern and start to see like, oh, okay, this is constantly attacked. This constantly has like a root that it seems like the same type of things are happening. That's what you need to focus in on. That's an area of your life that you need to really like dissect and see like, am I really called to do something great in this area, or am I called to go somewhere great pertaining to this? Because the warfare has been strong in this area. Again, it looks like natural things, like natural bad things just happening in a certain way, but it's much bigger than that. It's much greater than that. So one thing I have noticed is that once a betrayal happens, God is using that to allow a person to see what is in the heart of the people that they have had around them. So once things have been revealed, once God allows a person to reveal the content of what is in their heart, what they are oppressed with and trying to oppress other people with, that is your out. Usually the signs are there before the betrayal happens, but once you see that, that is your clue. Like for me specifically in my life, God has clearly told me to stop talking to certain people, and then it all came out, or like then things started to make sense and come together. But the way you get the revelation may be different. But once that happens and you cut ties and close those doors, you have to know that if that person did not get delivered, if that person did not go through some form of truly changing and repentance and all of those things and became a new person, once that person comes back, that spirit is still in them. Those demonic principalities and things operating in them is still in there. So they're coming back to finish the job. You have to know that demonic spirits and people do not know boundaries. So you may feel like you have cut off a situation, but those things, those not good things, are influencing those people in their minds to believe that no, it's not over. Whether they just want to get revenge on you, they want to still come back and sabotage, whatever. They know no boundaries. So this is why it is so important for you to protect your space, protect your life. Keep your guard up. You are not obligated to receive anyone back into your life. Forgiving someone is different from allowing them back into your life. to destroy you, okay? Those are two different things, all right? Once you get the wisdom and understand the things that are in operation against you, it is your job to guard yourself. So let's go back to the dream. Because the person did not guard themselves, they reconnected and started communication with people that they know that were bad, people that they knew that they weren't supposed to be talking to. Those people were still mocking and like saying little things in the back. The people just wanted a way into this person's life, but the old things that they were doing, the old things that they had done when the person was in a more naive state or the person haven't fully matured, they were still doing those same things. They were still facilitating the same type of behavior. So that was confirmation that there has been no change. There has been no repentance. There has been no evolvement of those people. But the person that the dream was about went on their journey of evolvement and changing, and they were at new levels and new realms when it came to their life. That's why the person was confused as to why they were on the phone with the people. It didn't make sense. But this is also an aspect that you need to be mindful of. A lot of times when people know that they have lost control, they have lost access, they have lost power over you, they have lost all of that, then that's when the control, the manipulation, the witchcraft starts to come in, because now they want to go to different measures of making sure that they can still keep their hand on your life, making sure that they can still come in and have access to your life. If you grant them that access, then they can finish the job. And I know there may be a person out here like, oh, well, God just protects me and this and that. God protects you, but also he gives you wisdom to make good decisions. Now, if you come into agreement with being around and accepting people in your life that mean you know well, then you open up the door for whatever attacks or things that come with that. That is a lesson I for sure learned in life, and I don't need any more lessons on that, okay? So you have to use wisdom and be mindful of your connections. It's not as easy as just, coming and going and, lollygagging and not taking accountability for what you allow into your life. Okay, so before I end this video, I did want to mention some things that you may notice when there is someone who was attached to you that had a specific spirit in them, operating in them to try to cause destruction in your life, to try to finish the job against you. And that is, once you remove the person out of your life, they don't let go. It's like once you close that door and have your boundary up and say no more, that person will continue to obsess over you. That person will continue to try to find ways to enter your life. That could look like trying to enter the same social circles that you are in. That could look like literally trying to move to a location that you are in so that they can run into you. That could look like, y'all, once I started living, I started to see that some of these things that happen in Lifetime movies are real things, okay? I don't think somebody was just sitting there imagining stories, okay? This is real life stuff that has happened to people. This is why you have to be so discerning and know what is really going on, but from a spiritual lens, not just, oh, this is just a movie and they look like, they just have some stuff going on. No, there are real life situations that are happening with certain things, okay? But this can look like them literally move into a space near you, trying to harass you. This can look like them trying to stalk you physically, trying to monitor you physically. You're coming and going to different places. This can look like them trying to sabotage things in your life. And again, if they don't really have access to you, that can work a little differently, but don't put nothing past anybody. You have the right to protect your life, your space, and your things, okay? But it can go as far to them trying to sabotage opportunities and different things for you. And if they feel like they can manipulate you and try to prey on you and come with a sob story to try to re-enter your life, you have to understand that they will do that. And you have to understand that this is a spirit in them that is acting out through them, okay? This spirit is on assignment to finish the job, to try to take you out, okay? Now, they have opened themselves up to be a vessel for this spirit to operate through. They're just the vessel that is being used to try to do that. Another way that I have been able to see that there was a certain spirit trying to come up against me is because I realized at a point in life I was attracting the same type of person, like same kind of attitude, mannerisms, the same kind of mindset. It was literally like I would go around other people and just specific people also that were open to this same type of spirit. Okay, so it's not everybody, it's not just every encounter. No, that's that should not be happening. But I was able to pinpoint that this feels familiar. This feels like something that I have been around before and is not good. And then I was able to pinpoint this certain type of behaviors, like the obsessiveness or the trying to do certain things in my life, and it was making sense that this is a spirit that is trying to follow me through whoever it can follow me through. This is how some people say, like, every time they get in a relationship they end up with the same type of person. This because this is a familiar spirit that is trying to follow you to finish the job, okay? So it can even go deeper from just one person being used. It can follow you once you have gotten away from that person. So this is something that spiritually has to be dealt with. You need to be in prayer. You need to fast. You need to seek God on whatever way that you need to deal with the situation. There are some natural things that he may tell you to do. This could be apply for this job. It's time for you to move on to a new job and start here. It could be move to this state. Yeah, this person is trying to do all this, but it's time for you to move this way anyway, because this is where you are going to prosper in this new land that you move to. So be alert and attentive to the instructions that he gives you also, because it could make or break your situation. Okay, so let's finish with some things that you can look for to identify that there is something in action trying to destroy you spiritually. So the person that is being used again may be obsessive over you. Like, you have moved on with your life and this person years later is still obsessing over you. There is a fixation with your life and obsession with your life. The person may be trying to harass you or in a way try to make their presence known, make it known that they're still around you or whatever. It's not for me to try to rationalize, but that is a way that you may be able to understand that this is a certain spirit in operation that wants to re-enter your space so that it can play out whatever it wants to play out. But we rebuke it in Jesus' name, okay? It's not going to prosper. You may notice that they are being used to try to assassinate your character. Now, this goes back to sabotage, and this goes back to them trying to cause destruction in your life. So one of the ways that the enemy will try to use people to do that is to get a bunch of people to team up on one person. So let's say the spirit is in operation in one person, and that person is being used to try to destroy maybe someone's reputation, or maybe trying to destroy whatever they feel like they're doing. That one person will go to a group of people that it feels like will be in community with them so that they can carry out whatever plan that they feel like they can carry out. And you may notice that specifically things start to come back up regarding this as you are elevating, as you're going to the next level. So this is a very clear sign that you're elevating, because it'll be like maybe you went through a betrayal, or maybe you went through a spiritual attack, or somebody tried to do something against you, and then like things have blown over, you have moved on. Now all of a sudden it's like things are raising its head back up. That is a clear sign that you are about to embark on a new phase in your life, on a new place in your life. The attacks start up. It's like popping up out of nowhere. That is not a coincidence. Things don't just go normal and then start acting up out of nowhere with no cause to cause things to get to this place, okay? Okay, so I am getting ready to end this video. I just want to leave these words of encouragement to you to not open those doors to things of the old, especially if you're elevating. Do not be so quick to put your guard down and let things of the past into your new seasons. That is the perfect time and opportunity for them to finish the job. Once you are elevating and going to the next level, once you are making progress. If you are a person who looks at defense and offense and understands strategy, that is the perfect time for the plot to be carried out when you are elevated and going to the next level. Wouldn't it make sense to attack somebody that is going higher when they have momentum and they're going to new places than to, you know, they're steady and not making any movement and any progress for into their life, right? So I thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you were able to take the wisdom and the insight and the lesson from this video. Be sure to check out any other videos on this channel that interest you, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.